Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
In Waterloo that occurred early this morning. Our Betsy Thompson is live at the scene right now of the explosion. And Betsy, what can you tell me about the mood there right now?
Well, as a steady stream of rain continues to fall here in Waterloo, a steady stream of onlookers continues to pour onto the site as they have all day here. They include family, friends, neighbors, and just simply the curious. Behind me, what's left of Buzz's Tavern, a lot of debris and not much else after today's deadly explosion, claiming 5 lives here today. With me, I want to join quickly the Chief Frank Magsamen of Waterloo Fire Department, and we have established a cause now. You thought you might find this out later on tonight. You were able to come up with it rather quickly. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you think it was a gas main, a broken gas main in the basement?
Midwest Gas has been on the scene here from the start of this when we called them in. They've been able to excavate down to the gas main and to find evidence that we had a leak that allowed gas to get into the basement of Buzz's Bar, and there was an accumulation in that basement, and either a electric compressor or some type of mechanical device caused enough spark, and the explosive mixture was just right, and we got this devastating explosion here that took 5 lives.
Now, is there any indication, we know now that there was a broken gas main, when it may have broken, how long the gas was leaking into the basement for that type of buildup, for that kind of an explosion to occur?
I can't give you a determination on that. We have worked closely with the local fire marshal, state fire marshal, and Midwest Gas here to come up with this determination. That is what we have for information at this time.
Is this a Midwest gas line that's usually maintained? What do we know about that, and what kind of condition it was in?
I would have no idea about what the maintenance procedure is on this gas line.
Okay, Chief, thank you very much. Quick work on that. As we said, they didn't expect to get a cause until later on this evening. I also want to bring in Andrea Fox. Andrea was working at a shop 2 doors down. This is her father's shop, and you were just driving away from the scene. And tell me what you saw and heard.
I just heard a loud explosion. My company vehicle that I was in completely came off the ground, and I looked in my mirrors and that, and there was just a huge cloud of smoke behind me, and so I turned around and came back, and I got out of my truck and that, and everybody's just like screaming at me, get blankets, get blankets. So I ran into my dad's shop and grabbed a blanket, and I came out, and they're like, get it around him and wrap it around him, and there was a guy sitting there, and I just wrapped it around him. He was in pretty bad shape. He was burned and that, and they're like, move him over here. And so we just kind of picked him up and moved him over and in front of our shop and that, and it was tough. Yeah, it was, and you may well have saved that man's life. We don't know. We do know that one of the men still is at the hospital tonight in critical condition. I did talk to his brother. He had undergone surgery this afternoon. He was paralyzed from the waist down. He had suffered extensive burns on both his legs, and we're still waiting for more word of his condition tonight. The last we heard that he was in critical condition. Again, the cause here established: a broken gas main, a plastic line in the basement of Buzz's Tavern, which touched off this deadly and devastating explosion.
Betsy, maybe can you tell me, are there still quite a few people that are at the scene of the accident right now?
Well, there are. A lot of them are the curious, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of them, people like Andrea, who wanted to come down after seeing what she had experienced and wanted to get an update, perhaps, on some of the people that were involved in the explosion, some of the people that she tried to help, and some, again, are neighbors who have lived here. It's an interesting area because you have a lot of industrial buildings, and then across the street it's quite residential. So a lot of them are just the curious and neighbors and family and friends.
I imagine quite a bit of shock there as well.
Indeed.
Okay, thanks very much, Betsy, for that report.
It was a massive explosion, in fact, the worst in Waterloo history.
Would everybody please move back at least a block and a half? We need your cooperation.
As the police tried to clear the area of people who came to watch, reality struck. 5 dead, 3 injured, all friends and family members of people like these. A survivor tells his story.
Turned around and looked for the people in the bar and found one fellow sitting there who was just dazed, and so we went and got him out of there.
Sitting in the bar?
In the basement area or in the debris. So after we got him out of there, well, then we could see others that were there, but they appeared to be not be alive.
The explosion destroyed Buzz's Bar, a neighborhood place and ground zero. It punched a hole in the side of this wood molding shop next door and scorched several of these cars parked nearby. In fact, debris flew as far as 150 feet away, and witnesses say a fireball went 100 feet in the air. But it's the loss of life that had the greatest impact.
This is certainly a devastating incident whether we have one death from explosion or fire. When we have multiples, it compounds the seriousness of the situation.
Local Midwest gas crews struggled through the morning to shut off the gas mains running below ground. But for these family and friends, their efforts come too little, too late. They came by the hundreds, in cars, by foot, standing around, all paying their respects to those who died in yesterday's explosion. Many familiar with sharing their joy inside of what used to be Buzz's Bar now share their sorrow outside. What thoughts are going through your head right now?
I don't know. For the families, for all of us who are one big family. Whether we're ever going to be the way it was before.
Some laid flowers in memory of the dead, while across the street, Midwest Gas continued its investigation into other possible leaks.
There's always that potential. Right now we're just doing a general survey of the area.
And the health department came to survey the damage as well, and to make sure that workers properly disposed of all debris.
Poses a potential threat to the public's health, and I think in particular we still have a lot of beer and liquor products on the scene that need disposal.
In the meantime, the procession continues, leaving many, including this man, the only surviving owner of Buzz's Bar, in shock as to their sudden and tragic loss.